Habakkuk was a prophet who lived during a tumultuous time in ancient Israel. His story is found in the Old Testament of the Bible, specifically in the book that bears his name. Though the book of Habakkuk is relatively short, it contains a powerful message of faith, questioning, and trust in God. During Habakkuk's time, the nation of Judah was experiencing great moral and spiritual decline. The people had turned away from God and were engaging in wickedness and injustice. Habakkuk, burdened by the state of his nation, cried out to God, seeking answers and justice. In the beginning of the book, Habakkuk questions God's apparent silence and wonders why he allows evil to go unpunished. He laments the violence and corruption he sees around him, crying, "How long, O Lord, must I call for help, but you do not listen? Or cry out to you, violence, but you do not save?" Habakkuk 1 verse 2. God responds to Habakkuk's plea by revealing his plan to bring judgment upon Judah through the Babylonians, a powerful and ruthless nation. This revelation shocks Habakkuk, as he cannot understand how God would use a nation even more wicked than Judah to punish his people. Habakkuk then enters into a dialogue with God, expressing his confusion and seeking clarity. He questions God's justice, asking how he could allow the Babylonians to prosper while they commit atrocities. In his frustration, Habakkuk declares, "I will stand at my watch and station myself on the ramparts. I will look to see what he will say to me." Habakkuk 2 verse 1. In response to Habakkuk's persistent questioning, God assures him that though the Babylonians may seem unstoppable for a time, their wickedness will ultimately lead to their downfall. God tells Habakkuk to write down the vision, emphasizing the importance of faith and trust in God's timing. Habakkuk then humbles himself before God, acknowledging his sovereignty and power. He prays, "Lord, I have heard of your fame, I stand in awe of your deeds, Lord. Repeat them in our day, in our time make them known, in wrath remember mercy." Habakkuk 3 verse 2. The book concludes with a beautiful prayer of praise and trust from Habakkuk. Despite the impending judgment, he chooses to rejoice in God and find his strength in him. He declares, "Though the fig tree does not bud and there are no grapes on the vines, though the olive crop fails and the fields produce no food, though there are no sheep in the pen and no cattle in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord, I will be joyful in God my Savior." Habakkuk 3 verses 17 to 18. Habakkuk's story is one of wrestling with difficult questions and finding hope and trust in God's sovereignty. It teaches us that even in the midst of challenging circumstances, we can choose to have faith and find joy in the Lord.